Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, parents reassured their children will be safe as they head back to school on Monday. The International Organization for Migration IOM helped slow down outward migration of Dominica's young people, and a Grand Bay primary school teacher wins Flow's final $10,000 grand prize in its Bag of Money campaign. The details coming up.
Avec Flow, gagnez l'argent, on partit l'argent avec Flow. Gagnez l'argent, on gros sac l'argent. C'est juste ça pour gagner un gros sac l'argent avec Flow. Animez on top up, sign up, quittez yo, et venez joindre Flow. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
First up in the news, parents and principals reassured the Ministry of Education will be on top of its game when children return to the classroom on Monday. Andrea Louis tells us more.
The reassurance from Assistant Chief Education Officer Dr. Jeffrey Bless when addressing the annual principals meeting earlier this week. Bless says the ministry will deploy officials to ensure the proper sanitization is being done at the various schools.
We will be providing the fullest support to you. The officers in the Ministry of Education, the support staff, will be on the ground. I will tell you that much. And they will be at your schools in numbers because we want to make sure that safety, hygiene, sanitization is effectively implemented. So it's important that we do so because we don't want to take it for granted.
Hospital Medical Director Dr. Ruby Blah emphasized the need for proper and thorough sanitization of surfaces at the school compound, in addition to consistent hand washing and proper respiratory etiquette.
Frequently touched surfaces should be cleaned every 2 hours. It is a tall order. It is going to be extremely difficult to maintain that, especially in a place like a school where we have the younger children in particular, but that is what we have to work towards. That is what has to be our aim, that surfaces ideally are cleaned as frequently as every 2 hours. Having said that, what we can also attempt to do, once surfaces, there's going to be a change of somebody touching a surface, that surface should be cleaned. For example, if a book was handled by one person, before it's passed on to another person, that book should be sanitized.
Teachers had returned to school earlier this week to prepare to welcome students on 7th September. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
In other news, the World Health Organization, WHO, and the Pan American Health Organization have been commended for making it possible for Dominica to secure funds under the Pandemic Emergency Financing Facility. These funds help the Ministry of Health implement 4 critical goals.
The 4 main areas of action are improving coordination, planning, and monitoring with the aim of having no transmission or low-level transmission and preventing cluster of cases or community spread. Number 2, strengthening the capacity for surveillance, which includes data collection and dissemination for contact tracing, procurement of supportive IT equipment, as well as minibuses and retrofitting of quarantine facilities. Number 3, increasing testing capacity through procurement of laboratory equipment and supplies. At present, we can carry out 70 plus PCRs per day. The intention is to double this. As we have also received on island another PCR equipment, which will enable us to further increase our testing capacity. Number 4, safety of healthcare workers and case management, not only to review infection prevention in health facilities and the community, but also to prepare for treatment, thereby preventing transmission. This also includes training of staff, provision of infection prevention and control supplies, and wash stations.
Dominica has continued to receive much-needed testing supplies from PAHO, among other contributions. The health minister has acknowledged the foreign and local support received in the fight against COVID-19.
I also want to thank the International Atomic Energy Agency for a new PCR machine which we received. It's on island, and it will be set up at a separate center such that we could be having PCR tests done at our Princess Margaret Hospital and a separate center of excellence at Stock Farm. The People's Republic of China for providing us 100,000 masks and testing supplies and personal protective equipment. We also want to thank the Republic of Cuba for providing us with healthcare professionals, and also the government and people of India for a series of medical supplies which we received just last week. We are also thanking the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela for the testing supplies and personal protective equipment received. Last but not least, our frontline workers. Words cannot express our thanks. And a special thanks to the staff at the quarantine unit for a job well done.
Limited staffing continues to affect efficiency at the Welfare Division. The division responsible for matters of childcare, public assistance and care of the elderly currently operates with a skeleton staff of field workers, which Chief Welfare Officer Leroy Morvan says is not ideal to effectively carry out its work.
We do have a lot of work at this division to do. Childcare matters are coming up. Sometime in the middle of the night, I get WhatsApp, well, not calls anymore, but WhatsApp messages. And when I pick at it, I'm seeing, children are being abused here and there. In addition to that, we have all the other matters. We have people who want to be admitted to the Dominica Infirmary because they have no relatives who to care for them. And then we have those who have children not attending school, and because they are unemployed and fathers are not assisting financially, they need public assistance to assist. Sometimes, although they are needy cases, but you have to look at it on a case by case, because you have to remember that our budget is limited, and even if we recommend somebody for the assistance, it might take a bit longer than normally before they could be put on the system.
Morvan says international organizations have recommended an increase in staff for the division in order to efficiently carry out its tasks.
For example, we had UNICEF who came on board and was assisting us in a pilot project where they would provide assistance for free field officers. But again, even if they do that, it must go through cabinet for cabinet's decision. And it was supposed to be for 6 months in the first instance, with the hope that government would take it on, well, based on its success, which I know it would be of a great success. But again, the time has elapsed, and it has not yet been taken up.
And the COVID-19 pandemic is having an impact on union dues for one private sector union. The Waterfront and Allied Workers Union, WOW, has seen a dip in its union dues because of COVID-19. The pandemic has resulted in a number of redundancies in some private sector companies.
Well, for us, an easy measure is in relation to our dues, because we have seen a reduction. Now, that is occasioned by some of the closures that have taken place. You would know of courts closing the Portsmouth branch. You would know of Fortium reducing its complement. In fact, the workers have been made redundant, and they are told to go to the Social Security for their payment. And there, in other smaller entities, we have seen a reduction in the complement of staff. So we are seeing that in terms of the dues. In the early stages, I must say, is that a number of the entities did engage us in terms of what they were doing or what they were planning to do to mitigate the impact of COVID. So we had discussions in relation to the protocol. And we, of course, were asked to speak to our members in terms of ensuring that they comply with the provisions of the protocol. And so that was not difficult.
Based on Dominica's success in mitigating the spread of the pandemic, citizens are encouraged to be on guard against complacency.
I have made the observation that generally in the early stages, the Dominican population complied in terms of wearing their mask. But since we have gone 83 days without a case, it appears that they feel that COVID is all but gone. And that is not the case. So we have got to maintain what is in fact the protocol that have been established by the Ministry of Health and continue, even if there is not an increase in the cases of COVID. We have seen recently that there have been 3 cases. Those have been more or less imported, if you want to call it so. And the contact tracing becomes critical so that we could ensure that there is not the spread. But we from the union will and have been and will continue to impress upon our members to comply with the protocol so as not to have any spread or peak in Dominica, because I do not know if our facilities will be able to accommodate or to handle that. Like you had in Antigua, we are coming on one ship, there were 39 cases. Just imagine if 39 cases landed in Dominica, what impact that would have on the nurses, the doctors, and those in the forefront. Our facilities, will they be able to accommodate that? It is not like what is happening now, where people go to the facility, having arrived, and they are checked and you're told that you need to go, okay. But if you have a mass number at any one time, it is going to place tremendous pressure on the facilities that we have and the nursing and doctors and others like that for us in Dominica. So I could only appeal to the people of Dominica to do what is necessary in terms of ensuring that they comply with the protocols that have been established. Wear our masks, sanitize our hands, sanitize the places where we work, and ensure that we keep this pandemic out of Dominica.
You are watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after this.
With love, when I bag of money, cash out, get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From
Yo, check this. Flo is giving away $30,000 in cash.
Oh, yeah.
2 bags of money plus $1,000 every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making parties great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
$10 or more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you wanna win cash galore.
With Flow.
Win a bag of money.
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
The International Organization for Migration, IOM, is playing its part to help stem the outward migration of young Dominicans. Here is Andrea Louis with more.
The IOM, which arrived on island 3 years ago following the passage of Hurricane Maria, has conducted a number of community training sessions to empower youth and the wider Dominican public. Community Engagement Officer with the IOM, Maxine Allen Esprit, says the more recent projects of collaboration with the Dominica Youth Business Trust, DYBT, are aimed at boosting the entrepreneurial industry for young Dominicans.
In Dominica, we have a small population and we have been experiencing net outward migration over the past years, at least a decade, if not more. And so this project, IOM, under the IOM Development Fund, is giving support to the Dominica Youth Business Trust to increase their capacity to support young entrepreneurs, to basically encourage them, provide an encouraging environment so that they will not be so motivated to take their skills, their ideas, their innovation, their entrepreneurship, their energies, and move to another country where they will be contributing to that country's economy.
The IOM is also applauding government's push of the digital economy, which will also benefit local entrepreneurs.
It is important that young people are prepared to deal with their future. And their future, the future of the young people, definitely has a lot to do with technology. And so in Dominica, we really need to provide a platform where young entrepreneurs, young people in general, but in particular entrepreneurs, are able to trade in this economy of the now, which we are already behind the curve with. So we are very excited about all the activities under the digital economy initiative.
Minister with responsibility for Dominicans with disabilities, Dr. the Honorable Addis King, has publicly pledged a commitment to improving the lives of people living with disabilities across the country. The minister made the disclosure while addressing the contract signing and groundbreaking ceremony for a BNTF project to improve the DAPD facilities at Goodwill to the tune of $900,000. In the 2020-2021 national budget, government increased the annual subvention to the DAPD by $5,000.
As minister with responsibility for Dominicans with disabilities, I pledge my fullest support to assist all persons with disabilities in improving their situations, notwithstanding the fact that the world, including Dominica, is faced with challenging economic times brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. As we work together towards achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and in keeping with government's thrust to build a climate-resilient Dominica, we are becoming increasingly aware that a resilient nation must care for the most vulnerable members of its society. These include those who are visually impaired and blind, those who live with issues of hearing and speech, the physically handicapped, those living with autism, the ones with intellectual challenges, and our young ones with development struggles. We need to include all our citizens in this dynamic development.
And any day is a good day to win $10,000, but for one primary school teacher in Grand Bay, it could not have come at a more opportune time. Flow's Bag of Money campaign presented its final $10,000 grand prize on Friday to teacher Lillian Alexander Williams of Grand Bay. Williams received a huge surprise while she met with other teachers at Pierre Charles Secondary planning for the reopening of school on Monday. Williams, sitting quietly in the back, turned out to be the big winner of the $10,000 grand prize just for switching to Flow. Friday's $10,000 grand prize marks the end of the Flow Bag of Money campaign. Meantime, the fixed bundles all-in and all-in plus promotion has been extended to the end of September. Customers who sign up get 50% off the first 3 months plus free installation. And live coverage of Premier League football on Flow Evo Channel 105 on Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday, CCCUL Dubla versus Exodus at 2 p.m. Happy Bath Estate will play We United at 4 p.m. On Sunday at 2 p.m, Promex Harlem will take on Belfast Estate Maho FC, while Sagicor Southeast will go up against East Central at 4 p.m. Don't miss your Premier League matches on Saturday and Sunday on Flow Evo, Channel 105.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
With Flow, win a bag of money, cash out, get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
Yo, check this. Flow is giving away $30,000 in cash.
Oh, yeah.
2 bags of money plus a grand every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making parties great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
10,000 more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you wanna win cash galore.
With Flow.
Win a bag of money.
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, the headlines again. Parents reassured their children will be safe as they head back to school on Monday. The International Organization for Migration, IOM, helped slow down outward migration of Dominica's young people. And a Granby primary school teacher wins Flow's final $10,000 grand prize in its Bag of Money campaign. You may access the news on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Have a good weekend.